Okay, it's early as always.
Oh yeah, good morning.
We are on the corner of what's the Via Dolorosa. This is actually El Wad, the valley, going this way, but we call this little chunk of it Via Dolorosa. And all of this is the Via Dolorosa, the Way of Sorrows. That's what it means. But of course from El Wad it goes up again to the north towards the Holy Sepulchre. But I want you to know we're also standing on the corner of the Antonia. Named for Mark Anthony, that's right, yeah, you've gotten it. And it's a massive fortress. I mean, it's nearly 500 feet long, 490 feet. With this way, we see two different numbers, but close to 300 feet. 4 towers, 3 of which are 75 feet high. It's like a 7-story building, and then one of which is 105 feet. So it's large. We're going to go this way. Okay, I want you to notice we're rising. It goes up, up, up at this point. When we get to where that car is, you see the lights of the car. It just now went over the hill, basically. It's going to start going down, down, down. And so much of this material, even El Wad, has been filled in to a great extent. We're not walking on first century levels. We're walking 30 feet above. And right here, if you excavated, just imagine what you would find. It would be a huge amount of that fortress. A huge amount. The Romans came in. They came through the third wall, what we call the third wall, built by Agrippa. It's north of the present wall. Then the second wall there, the one that would have been in the first century. And then, here is a fortress. This is where they have to attack the Jews who have taken over the city. And so the fight was going on here. Countless lives lost right where we're walking. Okay, we're in front of the Ecce Homo convent. And we've been in here, and we walk down, 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 down. Struthian Pool is down here. It's also continues down that way. But the point is, we're way up above street level, and here particularly. And I think the reason we're so high, I don't think it's natural ground causing us to rise. It's the ruins of the Antonia. Now, Sarah, it's called Ecce Homo because it's believed that this is where we heard those words, behold the man, Pilate speaking. It's not here, though. Now, the question, where did that happen?
Yeah, where did it happen?
Up at Gabbatha, Herod's palace, at the western side of the city. But something did happen here. Many things have happened here, including the trial of Jesus. Why do I think that? Because we know from Josephus that the hall of hewn stone is attached to the rear of the Temple Mount right here at the Antonia. I believe that the Sanhedrin was called together suddenly in this area, and Jesus was tried, and then they took him to Pilate, 10-minute walk. They took him to Pilate. And so we have that event. And of course, because this is the Antonia, we can go to the book of Acts, and we can see more that's happened in this spot. I'm reading from Acts 21. When the 7 days were nearly over, some Jews from the province of Asia saw Paul at the temple. Temple just to our south here. Paul's here. Antonia's here. They stirred up the whole crowd and seized him, shouting, "Men of Israel, help us. This is the man who teaches all men everywhere against our people and our law in this place. And besides, he has brought Greeks into the temple area to defile this holy place." The whole city was aroused, and the people came running from all directions. Seizing Paul, they dragged him from the temple, and immediately the gates were shut while they were trying to kill him. News reached the commander of the Roman troops that the whole city of Jerusalem was in an uproar. He at once took some officers and soldiers and ran down to the crowd. How do you run down? Temple Mount's way up high, as you know. How do you run down? Only way to run down is to be at a higher level still. Again, remember, they had a tower that was 105 feet tall. Why do you need something that, this is a 10-story building. Why do you need, because the higher you are, I think,
The easier it is to look below.
The easier it is to see, and I think there's an intimidation factor. I think that fortress was built so massive in part to intimidate. Do not cause trouble. They locked the gates and they want to kill Paul, but these commanders, the soldiers, they ran down and they grabbed him. Okay, I won't read the rest of chapter 21 and 22, but if you keep reading, he speaks to the people in Aramaic, and when he does that, they listen. They're listening to Paul speak until he mentions Gentiles, and the prejudice was so great.
No.
You have to realize how they felt. That they then become wild, and they want him dead, and the commanders have to carry him into the fortress. And then we read, that night the Lord appeared to Paul and told him, just as you have testified about me here in Jerusalem, so you must do at Rome. And so the Lord appeared to Paul in this very place.
Oh my gosh.
I love to think about those things.
Yeah.
It's fun.